Hey, everybody. We are live at Paste Studios right now with Kian Soltani. Kian, thanks for being here, man.
Hi, thanks. Happy to be here.
Yeah, dude, we're happy to have you. And this is a big week for you. The Carnegie Hall recital debut for you is tomorrow at 7:30, and you're going to be playing pieces by Schumann, Beethoven, Shostakovich, and Piazzolla. How did I do on that one?
Piazzolla, perfect.
Piazzolla.
Argentinian composer.
Yeah. So that is tomorrow, but this is today. So we've got, you're going to play three pieces, the first of which is off of your debut album, Home. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, yes, I recorded my debut album, Home. Came out last year, and it's a mixture of different composers and different backgrounds that I carry within myself. So I was born in Austria, and I grew up in Austria, and it's really this big tradition of classical music. And we'll come to that later in the second piece. But first, I wanted to show a bit of my other background also, which is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's Persian. So my parents are from Iran, and they came all the way to Austria to study, and I was born there. But I was always also surrounded by that music, by that culture.
Is that what they were? Did they come to study music?
They came to study classical music in Vienna, and they stayed there. And so I was brought up with this kind of two sides, the classical side, but also this Persian music, which was very important for me. And so this first piece is a composition of mine where I try to, in a way, merge these two aspects of myself, which is the classical side and this Persian, folk music maybe. It's kind of a mixture of all of my influences. And I called it the Persian Fire Dance, and it's for cello solo.
All right. Love to hear it. Yeah. All right, Kian, thank you, man. That sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, we had an artist in here yesterday called Rhiannon Giddens, and she kind of was her interpretation of sort of a similar theme where she was merging, they brought a bunch of frame drums and daffs and percussion instruments from the Middle East, along with banjos, and like sort of merging American Appalachian music with Middle Eastern music. And it's fascinating to watch that. I mean, you're communicating sort of a similar idea, vastly different interpretations of it, but it's fascinating to watch.
Sounds interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, dude. Thank you for doing that. That was awesome. Can we talk about what's coming up next? And so I know that Bach is coming up next. Can we talk about the song selection and why? Like, what is it about this piece that really speaks to you?
Well, the next piece, it's by Johann Sebastian Bach. And really, if you know anything about classical music, then this guy needs no introduction. Is really kind of the grandfather of really Western classical music. Everyone...
The Hendrix of...
yeah, if you will. So it's really everyone... There's no way around him. He's the source of music, really, for most people. There's people who tell me they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is they play his music or they listen. It's not about just playing it. The good thing about Bach... it's the same whether you play it or you listen to it. So you don't even have to be an active musician yourself. It has incredible power also just to listen to it. But of course, for me, it is a great privilege that I'm able to play it. And we as cellists have this incredible luck that he left us this incredible kind of legacy of 6 big suites for solo cello. And these are really referred to as like really the highest kind of temple of cello music, those 6 suites. Each of them is written in a different tonality, but each suite consists of 6 movements, and 5 of those movements are basically dance movements. They're references to old Baroque or even older dances. So I'm going to play from the 3rd suite that he wrote. It's in C major. I'm going to play a movement which is called Sarabande, or Sarabanda, and the origin of this dance is from Spain. So it's a very slow Spanish dance, and it's basically Bach's take on this dance. And it's something very interesting that the great cellist Yo-Yo Ma actually said about this movement in particular, in each of the 6 suites, this movement in particular, and it's true for me also, which is that I have played this movement in both weddings and funerals. So that's the great thing about Bach's music. It can relate to anyone in every situation. It has such a, larger than life quality to it that it's not like, okay, this is sad or this is happy. It's somewhere in between. It's whatever you make it to be. So you can just keep that in mind when you listen to it. Is it a funeral for you or is it a wedding for you? It's really, or is it both? Or is it a mixture of the two? That is really the nature of Bach's music, that it is so universal. So I'm going to play from Johann Sebastian Bach, the Sarabande from his 3rd suite in C major.
right. Thank you, man. Yeah, I get what you mean now about that could be applicable in both settings. Like if two super serious people got married, that would be perfect. Or like if someone's really nice died, that would be a good funeral song as well. It's a little right in the middle, and it was outstanding, dude. Thanks for playing that for us today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Dude, can we talk about that instrument that you're holding right now? When I was doing my research and saw 1680 cello, I was like, dude, what does that even mean? Like, is this a model 1680, or are we? Oh, that's a unit of time we're talking about from actually 1680. Can we talk about what that instrument is?
Yeah, so it's a thing for string players, cello, violin, viola, that we have these instruments that are incredibly old. Of course, there is also modern instruments made every day. But I guess the most famous violin maker is Antonio Stradivari. Mm-hmm. Many people have heard his name. So this guy is even older than Antonio Stradivari. And the thing is, this old Italian cellos. This is an old Italian cellos. They have this really incredible energy around them, and something special. I don't know what it was about Italy in those kind of centuries. Something about the wood, about the art of making those instruments. That really instruments from that time, from these great makers, are timeless. They have incredible quality and sound, and in everything, really, in every aspect. So I'm incredibly lucky to be playing this instrument. It's actually from 1680, like you said, and the maker is from the brothers Grancino, and they were two brothers who lived in Milano, which is in Italy, of course, and they were really masters of their craft. And so it is an incredible privilege for us string players if we get to play these, because it goes without saying, of course, these things are incredibly expensive. They're handled like art pieces, like you would sell a Picasso painting, and it's also in the same kind of area of financially. So of course nobody can actually afford them. So I'm extremely lucky that a foundation has just agreed to loan this to me, and I'm just in the lucky position to play this instrument as long as I can at the moment. So I'm very, very happy, and it's like my companion.
Nice. Is there one specific thing that the Grancino cellos are known for? Is there something specific about the tone or something, or is it just overall greatness?
It's overall greatness, yes. It's really, also it's not like that every Grancino cello sounds the same. Obviously, these were all handmade, so every single one is different. They're all unique. So one Grancino cello would sound like that, the other ones would sound completely different. But what they all have is incredible quality. What I really like about this, it has a rather dark kind of color to it. It has I compare it to 90% chocolate, with 90% intensity, as opposed to some milky kind of chocolate. So this is my style. This is what I really like. So that's why I feel very, very good with this cello. It has this kind of dark quality to it.
Does the foundation know that you're playing percussion on it and bashing on the body and
Don't
the neck?
tell them. cut that out. It will all be edited.
Cool. This sounded outstanding so far. Can you tell us about the third and last piece you're going to play today?
Yes. So the idea for me always is to kind of explore what is possible on a cello. And obviously, I'm a classical artist, so I look a lot into the past. I play the great composers, Bach, tomorrow, Beethoven, Schumann, all these classics, and I love it. It's timeless music, and it has to be played. It has to be preserved. But for me, it's also important to see what is the music of today and maybe of tomorrow. And I try to contribute a little bit by myself, as you have seen in the first piece. But I also like to look around, what do cellists around me do? And there's many cellist friends who I admire a lot, cellist friends. That I admire a lot, and one of them is this great Austrian cellist. His name is Matthias Bartolomey, and he has this duo which is called Bartolomey Bittmann. He plays with his other friend whose name is Bittmann, obviously, and they have this cool duo. He plays cello, his friend plays violin or occasionally mandola. It's a very specific kind of instrument that he invented himself almost. So, and they go really, they kind of have their own style, which is strongly influenced by rock, kind of really rock and roll. And this is something I like very much. Obviously, I'm not only interested in classical music, I love all kinds of music. I love rock, I love jazz.
Dude, let's just turn the soundtrack, the Game of Thrones, and then into Super Mario.
I was playing that before we were rolling, yeah. I like to, I like all kinds of music, and Game of Thrones obviously right now is a big...
the approval matrix at the back of New York Magazine? You know what I'm talking about? It's like highbrow, lowbrow, despicable, brilliant. Everything you've done has been on the brilliant side. We've had the highbrow and the lowbrow, so it's been...
I don't know about that, but thank you so much. In any case, so this guy, Matthias Bartolomey, cellist, I think he's around 30 now. He wrote this really cool piece, and it's really kind of in the rock genre, and it's called Teresa's Groove, because he wrote it for a student of his whose name is Teresa, and she wanted to have a really cool piece. So he said, this is the piece I dedicate to you. So I'm going to end today's session with a piece by Matthias Bartolomey called Teresa's Groove. Thank you.
All right, dude, thank you for all three of these pieces. We appreciate it very much, and have a great show at Carnegie Hall tomorrow night. Tomorrow at 7, it's all sold out, and Carnegie is really hard to get into if you don't have tickets, so don't bother showing up if you don't have a ticket, unless you are very good at getting into places without tickets. I don't know.
But maybe they can catch me next time I'm in New York.
That's right. You're back in New York July 23rd at Lincoln Center. You've got a show in Chicago. You're at the Ravinia Festival on August 18th in Chicago. And can you tell us about the album as well, please?
Yeah, the next album that will be coming out, hopefully end of this year or beginning of next, is I'm going to record a very, very big classic for the cello repertoire, Dvorak, Antonin Dvorak, which is a Bohemian composer, Czech composer. He wrote this huge cello concerto for cello and orchestra, and I have recorded that already in Berlin with the Staatskapelle Berlin, which is one of really the best European orchestras, and with Maestro Daniel Barenboim, who is really an eminent musician. So we've recorded this huge piece of music, the Dvorak Cello Concerto, and I'm very much looking forward to this next album coming out hopefully soon.
All right, man. Well, best of luck on that, and travel safely, please. Have a great show tomorrow, and great shows all the way through all of them, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.